If you go back to the Obama administration, but he once told us in a meeting that those who believe that Israel is going to change course simply because it sees the light, because it's good for Israel to make peace with the Palestinians and give them a sovereign state, that's irrational. Israel's conduct is not irrational if you don't pay a price for a policy that you're pursuing. And so the real issue is why the U.S. didn't exert more pressure, leverage.
Well, Israel had needs, in this case security, and Palestinians had wants.
Yes.
Will you just elaborate on that?
I mean, I can't put it better than you just did. I mean, I think we quote one of the U.S. negotiators at one point said that. He said, this is not a matter of competing rights. It's a matter of needs. And from that perspective, Israel has security needs. I just was looking back to a quote by President Obama. Again, it shows that this is kind of bipartisan, in which he said Israel, like every state, should have the right to self-defense and to be able to defend itself by itself. And he was saying that in the context of a speech that was arguing for the creation of a Palestinian state. But nowhere anyone has ever suggested on an American side that the Palestinian state should have a right to self-defense, because that's not a Palestinian need. So there really is an internalization, which I understand, of the plight of the Jewish people and of the need for security. No such understanding in terms of the Palestinians, who've been victims of dispossession and liquidation and assassination attempts. So, and as we see, what experts call a genocide, but the notion that they would need to defend themselves is sort of foreign to the repertoire.
So many Israelis seem to not have any awareness of what goes on just in even the West Bank, which is, miles away. It's like, I don't know, it's not even, Rhode Island is further away from where we are right now than the West Bank. But it is a world away. Was that a sort of a deliberate construct?
I mean, certainly on the Israeli side, what you say is right. As you say, it's also true of the American side. And I would say anyone who's watching this, just take a trip to the West Bank, visit Hebron for a day, and come back and tell us whether your experience has not shaped your vision. It is just, you can't come out of that trip and not view the whole conflict through a different lens. That at a basic level, Israelis would say, why would we? Again, we won the wars. We won wars that were waged by people who denied our right to exist. And now we're going to give them a state where they could have guns and they could have tanks and they could attack us. Look at what they do to us without all of that. I think that's a consensual position among Israelis. And then, of course, you have many Israelis for whom the attachment is not just to the land of 67, it's to all of Israel. And by the way, many Israelis would say parts of the West Bank, like the city of Hebron, is much more sacred and important to them than Tel Aviv, which has no religious connection, certainly not compared to areas in the West Bank. So I think both of them are there. And I think from an Israeli perspective, many say, there never was a Palestinian state to begin with. They attacked us when we accepted the partition plan in 1948. Giving the land to them is just going to expose us to greater risk. What's the point?
That's the sort of central paradox, too. There was never a Palestinian people, yet they were cohesive enough to attack us. That to me seems a little paradoxical.